I'm the park commissioner that wrote the letter. I'm Don Andersen, 5725 West 101st Place. I've lived there for the last 38 years. And for 14 years before that, I lived at 9945 Maple. My wife and I have been 52 years residents of this town. My wife's family has lived in this town for over 100 years, so we're no newcomers to this village. I served 20 years on the P&D board in my past. I know what the process is, and I think I've fulfilled my duties on those boards as long as I've been there. I'm the one that wrote the letter on behalf of the Oak Lawn Park District you folks got today, requesting that this board of trustees and the president would table action on this in order for the park district, who has not met, has not discussed what our position might be in the property in question. We have not talked about it. We have not met, and just give us the opportunity. It sounds like there's a disagreement between the trustees in this matter. Maybe the park district can't do anything about it. Maybe we were not able to get involved. But at least let another governmental body in our town who's in the business of open space and green space to have an opportunity to look at acquiring some of that property over there. Generally, national standards say that for communities, there should be 10 acres of parkland, open space, for every 1,000 residents. Oak Lawn has 220 some acres of parkland. We've got 55,000 residents. We don't even have half of what the national recommendation is. So for us, for me as a commissioner, has been elected since 1977 to the park board, to not be able to voice an opinion and to pursue the possible acquisition of that property for the residents of Oak Lawn for open space for future use would be against what I was elected for. So for not being allowed, now this is going to go ahead. They voted down the letter that I asked, that the Park District Board asked to table on this matter. You're going to make a decision here tonight. I just hope that you make the right one. Along with being a park commissioner, I'm a resident. I live on the cul-de-sac. That's where my home is. That's where I raise my children. It's my neighborhood also. So as a resident, and I know there's many of my fellow neighbors here, this doesn't belong here. It does not belong here. There's other parcels of property in our town that's been stated. They've not been investigated yet. There may be some park property that's available. We've got some property that we're not using for parks right now. Maybe there's a thing we can do. But since you've already voted not to table this, it's going to go ahead for a vote. So I hope this board considers the village for the future, because this could happen any place. Thank you.
Madam Mayor, can I just...
Trustee Warder, then Trustee Olenichek. If you could stay up here just a moment,
the
please.
authorization to write that letter is a board decision. When were you given authorization by the park board to write that letter?
When I contacted each one of them individually and asked if they would, and I also checked with our attorney.
A couple of weeks ago?
No.
Well, I was under the impression that it was discussed 2 weeks ago, and the letter was delivered at noontime today.
No, the letter was never even brought up until Sunday.
And Madam Mayor, may I add on there that was trying to work with other boards and people for a possible win-win with the neighborhood. There were conversations that Mr. Andersen, myself, and the mayor entered into to see if we could work on a win-win situation with the Park District. That's a fact, correct, Mr. Andersen?
Correct. And that's what we're supposed to do. We
That is
represent
correct.
all these people here. This board and the park board. We've got different roles, but we represent the people.
How is the Park District going to pay for this when the village already assists the Park District on a number of programs? How is the Park District going to pay for this?
That's why we need some time to investigate it. There are grants available to us. There's other monies out there available to us. Right now, the state of Illinois owes the Oak Lawn Park District millions of dollars to
redo the park?
To recoup what we've already spent on projects that were given grants that have not been paid. Hopefully, downstate is going to release those funds, and we will have the resources. We will have the resources. But
Trustee Warder?
all I was asking was that this board tonight don't just wash this down the road and it's a done deal. Once vacant land is sold off, it's gone. It's never going to have another chance to become part of the public domain. That's the job of the Park District if we possibly can. So all I was asking in that letter with the support of the other four park commissioners that I write it to this board to see if you would consider letting us investigate this before your next meeting.
Trustee Border.
Yeah, Don, this is an agreement between two private parties, the owner of the parcel and a business that wants to be built. Have you reached out to either one of them from the park board? Because I believe we received a letter today that said that the Southwest Christian School has a contract and they are not interested in talking with any governmental agency on the sale of that land. Am I correct, Larry?
That is correct,
Would you read
trustee.
that, please?
Mr. Mayor, Madam Mayor, and Board of Trustees, the letter you received from Mr. Anderson was delivered at 11:47 a.m. to Village Hall this morning. And the mayor immediately made that available to myself and to legal counsel. The following communication comes from Southwest Christian Schools late this afternoon. It has come to our attention that the Oak Lawn Park District has suggested a delay of this project so they can explore options to acquire the property in question. Please note that Southwest Christian Schools has had no conversation or discussion with the Park District, nor does the school or its representatives have any plans or intention of entering into such discussions. We have a valid, and I repeat, a valid legal sales and purchase agreement with Anthem. We will honor that and proceed in good faith based upon what our mission is as a Christian school. Thank you.
Now,
Okay, thank
Madam
you.
Mayor, may I
Trustee
also
Oliniechek.
add that that is only, the sale only goes through if they get the variance, correct? That's the only way that sale goes through is if you get the variance.